Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of Mentality Minutes. This is going to be our 5-day series of diving into one book at a time, and this week our book is Winning by Tim Grover. Now, this is probably going to be a series. We'll do it for 5 days. So you get Monday through Friday. You're going to get an episode, 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops, where you can tune in and develop your mentality. And that is so important. And that's why we're going to use books, because these people know what they're talking about better than I could ever talk about. In this first book that we're doing, it's one of my favorites, but I could spend an hour talking about it. But briefly, I'm just going to say there's a lot of gems in it, and it's one of those that if things get tough, or when things get tough, you can pick this up, be kind of guiding star. And as seasons are about to start for basketball, it's going to help you set the tone, set your standards going into this year. So that's our goal. We're going to get started on it today. Quick note, down in the bio there is like a PDF where you can follow along, write out your key takeaways, write out quotes from this episode, but there's also below that one that's already filled out. So it has all the key takeaways, has the quotes, has the action steps. That way you don't have to do it on your own, which I put both in there, so pick your favorite. But we're just going to get right on into it. Okay? And I got my notes because I'm going to stay on 15 minutes. But the first book, Winning, Tim Grover, I posted this on our Instagram page. But as I said, I've grown a lot from this book. This book has helped me in all times. It's stayed in my locker. Whenever I need a boost or a realignment, I'm like, dang, what am I doing again? Why am I doing this? This has been one of the greatest ones that I've turned to. So I've got it marked up. I don't even know where the cover went. But we got it summarized today. So our first episode is going to be about defining winning. Okay, you got to define what winning means to you. So winning is personal, right? But something we don't understand is it's different for everyone, and it's a lot deeper than just the scoreboard. So Tim Grover, the author, who, if you don't know who Tim Grover is, just look him up. But elite trainer, elite mindset performance coach, does a lot of business and athletic stuff, trained Kobe, trained MJ. Just look him up if you don't know who he is. But he also has the book Relentless. Okay, I just had to throw that in there. But we're going to go into winning since that's what I have on hand right now. But he says that winning demands everything. Okay, it's not a checklist, it's a way of life. Something to take note, it's a way of life. Okay, he quoted in the book saying, "Winning wants all of you. It's about no half measures, no backup plans." So I want you guys to think back to a time when you had to put your all into something. Like, your all. Okay? It was a moment where you about gave up, but made the decision to keep pushing. Now, this needs to be a moment where no one saw it. Maybe you're working out by yourself. Maybe you're in the gym on your own. Maybe coach just wasn't turned towards you, or your teammates didn't notice it. Maybe it was in the classroom. But you really, really put your all into something when nobody was watching. Now, take that moment, take that memory, really feel and embrace that. Understand that that is the heart of a true competitor. Okay, that feeling, that decision, that experience is the heart of a true competitor. So it's important to note that feeling, because it is only witnessed in those times when people are watching, you're pushing to your limits, and then you make the decision, that 1 second decision, to push harder, to finish, to do the right thing, versus the opposite. So we're going to start with defining winning for yourself, which this is really important now that it's November, about to be December, about to be basketball season. I know a lot of you guys are basketball players. You need to define what winning means to you. So start with a personal goal that goes beyond sports. Is it mental toughness, pushing through the hardest days? Maybe there's a daily struggle that you've been facing, but start with something, a personal goal. And then understand, so winning is nonstop. Winning doesn't have a finish line. It's a cycle of striving, reaching, and then raising the bar. Okay, so first of all, sorry, there's 2 steps to that. I kind of jumped over the place. But define winning for yourself. recognize some times in your day when it's really difficult, or times in the past that you've overcame. But what does winning really mean to you? What is that true competitor? What was that moment that you reflected on where that is actually what that fulfillment, what that pushing towards excellence, pushing towards a better version of yourself really felt like? Now, after you have that, you need to just have this understanding that winning is nonstop. Like we said before, it's a way of life. And we'll get more into this in the 5 days. Right now, that might seem heavy, but it ties into, how you do one thing is how you do everything. But in this sense, we're talking about winning. And we're going to dive into what winning means in the book. Okay? But it doesn't have a finish line. So note, what does it mean to you? What are some moments that you've had to win or haven't been winning? And then understand that no matter what, it's going to be a nonstop battle, a nonstop, continuous fight. Now, to take care of these things, write down your version of winning for this season. It can be your basketball season or just this time of year, but write it down. Then, after you do that, write down what does success look like when no one is watching. And if you're not writing this down, just take a note in your head. Okay? So you have your version of winning. You have what success looks like, what winning is when no one is watching. You have those two definitions. And those are two things that when things get really hard, or you're in a darker moment and you're like, you're waking up and you're like, I'm not going to go to the gym today. You can reflect on, what does winning mean to me? And what does success look like when no one is watching in my life? You can reflect on those two things. And a lot of times if you're laying there and you're like, this is not aligned with what I think success is, or this is not aligned with my version of winning, it's really hard with that in the front of your mind to then go about your day knowing that you didn't win your morning, you didn't win that first decision, or you didn't win whatever it was that you chose not to do that aligned with those definitions that you just wrote down or made a mental note of. So by doing that exercise, you're kind of putting an expectation on yourself for a standard, which we're going to get into standards. Now I want you to identify one fear or limitation that's holding you back. Make a commitment to tackle it head on this week. It's Monday. Find something. There has to be something you've been struggling with. It can be the smallest thing or it can be the biggest thing. Don't overwhelm yourself by starting with the biggest thing on your to-do list that you haven't been doing, or build some momentum and do it. Okay? But that's the challenge. It's Monday. That is your challenge. You made it this far in the episode. You've defined what winning is. You define what it looks like when no one is watching. So now you know. Now you know what standard you're going to hold yourself to. Now you know what it means to you. So there's no gray area. You've set a bar for yourself. Now let me ask you a quick question. If your coach sets a bar in practice, do you meet that bar? Or say you walk into the weight room and your strength coach gave you a workout. Do you do what it says? Do you meet the standard? Yeah, you do. You don't question it. You don't pout about it. You don't skip reps. You do what they said. You should hold yourself in your plan and your standards to that same degree, where you say you're going to do something, you've defined winning, you know what it is to you. Don't let yourself down and not live up to that. That's a decision you get to make. And it's a very, very hard one. We battle with ourselves, and that's the hardest part. That's why we're doing these mentality minutes. I'm sorry. This is new to me too. But that's why we do this, is so that we can develop this and win this battle, okay? Because even I struggle with it. So make a commitment to tackle that one fear and limitation that's holding you back this week. Whatever it may be, make a note. Share it with us if you're like, dang, I don't even know how to do it. We can help you. What you guys, I hope you take from this lesson, or from this episode, or this chapter, this quote-unquote first chapter of the 5, is that winning is not a one-time event. This is ongoing. This is a lifestyle. This is all the time. Holding yourself to the standard is as much as possible. And it's when no one is looking, especially when no one is looking. This is a relentless commitment. As we dive deeper into this topic this week, we can end up making this season of your life and this season upcoming, if you're talking about your sports season, the best season that you've had yet, where you learn and have a definition for what winning really is, give you a greater purpose, a greater understanding, a greater mission, a higher standard. You're going to pursue excellence a lot better than you have before. So thank you guys for tuning in today. This is our first episode. Let me know in the comments or reach out to us if you guys got any questions or if you have any more questions about the book. Winning, Tim Grover. Have a great Monday. Go kill it. Go start winning today. And I'm excited to tune in with you guys tomorrow.